Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 with me, Daddy Jokey. We are back on Riverbend Springs, and if you're confused by the ginormous skip of dates up in that top right corner, that's because I figured there would be not much to do in the months coming up to now. All I have really spent my time doing was taking things from one production facility to a sell point, and as you can see, I have amassed a small fortune, and that has presented me with a few opportunities and problems as well. Opportunity number one, we are gonna go ahead and go check that out. First thing first, we're gonna hop onto the vehicle shop. Opportunity number one, a round baler, the Case IH RB456. At least it's easy to remember. It came on a used vehicle sale for about 21,000, and as I have said in the previous episode, I don't want to deal with those dodgy little bales anymore because it was just a lot of handwork, which wasn't necessarily unenjoyable, but because of the physics, it was an absolute nightmare to deal with and even just like ferry around. And so I bought this thing. It's been sitting out here for a few weeks now, actually. I bought it in like February, and so that's nice. We'll have that. It's brand new looking, produces various round bales, and only requires 120 horsepower, which is perfect for us. Second, we're gonna tab over back to the farm real quick. As you can see, our sheep are sheeping. We have a tiny little bit of wool over there. That's not really the news. We've already had the sheep for a minute. But if we go over here and we click on this field, we see that to buy this 7.5 acre lot, I guess you can call it, or plot maybe, I don't know, costs $182,568. Good news is we are very nearly there. Bad news is we need to get there today in order to avoid anything being planted. As you can see right now, we have everything selected, and this field is tabula rasa, and we have this one. And so if we bought another one, we could couple these two and grow a lot of whatever we decide to plant here. And so, and also, as you can see over here, it doesn't have any weeds. It is fully fertilized. It doesn't need plowing, and it doesn't need lime. This field is ready to go. It also has no stones, but that's whatever. It is ready to go, and I would love to get my hands on it. So, to that end, we can pop over here. I have prepared a load of wood. And so all we have to do is deliver this. If we can get out of here without running into the rafters with the camera. All we have to do is deliver this to the playground. Is it the playground maker or the playground hall? Let's check that real quick. Playground, okay. And we will get some $35,000 for all of this wood, which actually, now that I'm looking at the volume, seems a little excessive. But, whoa, that's a lot of fog over here. It's actually been raining all of March. And so I'm seeing this for the first time, and this is kind of wild. I think it looks a lot more interesting out of cab view because we don't get that little top down that makes it look a little bit like weird graphical glitch, honestly. But I guess that was just a local fog over there. Guess that sometimes happens. So we're gonna sell this, and that should be that. I have also, obviously off camera, delivered a metric, well, I was gonna say metric ton, but actually it's more like several hundred metric tons, by the feel of it, of carrots to the cannery, and we are down to what I think is probably like 1 or 2 trailer loads. Again, I'm gonna do that off camera. I really don't care to do shoveling with a small bucket ad nauseum on camera, being bored and boring everybody else. So I'm just gonna shuffle it over there. But in a previous episode, I kind of bemoaned the speed at which these production buildings actually produce things, like to a point where it's kind of ridiculous, right? Like we have delivered, let's say we delivered 500,000 liters of carrots to the cannery. Now liters is a little bit of a weird measure of carrot, I guess it is. It works much better with liquids than it does with like solids that don't take up entire spaces of volume. But we delivered about 500,000 liters to the cannery, or will if we include the stuff that's still on the ground at our farm, and it will have taken them more than a year to turn that into canned carrots when, as I have googled, and yes, this time I have googled, and I haven't really done much of a job, but I have googled it, it only takes about 30 minutes based on altitude and other variables for them to can a can of carrots, right? And so there is no scenario in which it would take a cannery that long. To that end, here we go, I sold it, oh, 26,000, okay, I guess I misread something somewhere. Oh, because new ones spawned in, whatever, doesn't matter. So to that extent, I found a mod floating around, fairly fresh mod actually, I think it wasn't there yesterday because I am checking all of these sites daily just to see what's up there. And I found someone's first attempt at modding, which introduces, I'm gonna kind of pause over here a little bit and take over this mail van and hurry up, which introduces the ability to increase the speed of production buildings, and you kind of get to actually customize it a little bit. And I want to show you this because it is, I mean, I've only just started it, and at the beginning of this episode I didn't have any carrots prepared at the carrot factory, and I didn't have any wood, and as you can see, in the time it took me to start the recording and get through the intro and all of that, a whole 2 pallets of stuff have spawned over there. And so I'm gonna pop over here. If we go to my settings, general settings, and start scrolling down, all of a sudden we see all this clothing and preserved carrots enabled. And so if we just go a smidgen above this, well, a smidgen, this is basically every single producible thing in the game. It allows a production multiplier up to ×5, and so I selected that so we can crank that stuff out. Now the only thing that I actually just realized that I want to turn off was my greenhouse productions. I don't want those to be going crazy. So we're gonna quickly skim through here and see if, right, wool disabled. Or no, wool, yes. Provided that's not for sheep. Because I don't want that. I don't want suddenly there to be all that extra stuff. It does look like it is just production buildings, but not anything else. Yeah, we can also just go disable all and then just enable the things that we're actually using. That would, you know what, that might actually be a better option. Just turn everything off and then only enable the ones that we're using. So I'll do that. I'll cut it out and then we'll just enable the stuff that we are using whenever we're using it. Reason being that I don't want any unforeseen circumstances. So this disables the multiplier. It doesn't disable the entire production. So if we just now put in barley flour to be made with the thing disabled, it would just chug away at the regular pace that the game handles it at, which is snail's pace, to be honest. But yes, so right now we only need the production of all the various wood stuffs, which none of that, board furniture, plank furniture. So we'll leave that on for now because I'm not sure if by furniture they mean the boards. Disable, 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 disable. All of these things can't be, yeah, so all of these, we don't even have this on the map. Canned soup, potato chips, cement bricks, roof plates, bags, rope, cotton rope. I was going to cut this out, but now that we're here, we're almost done anyway. And that way, we can kind of together... Ooh, fermented Napa cabbage. You mean kimchi. That's kind of goofy. Fermented Napa cabbage. Bagged spinach. Preserved beetroot. Preserved... Yeah, preserved carrots. We'll leave that. Turn everything else So clothing off, cotton, wool, prefab walls, wood beams. We're currently making planks and boards, I assume. So we'll turn off all of this other stuff. Turn away things at the biogas plant. So there are some things that could like be severely overpowered if used with this. But on the whole, I think 5x will serve us great. I do hope that there aren't any sort of game-breaking bugs happening within this mod, because it is the author's apparent first attempt at making a mod. But if we go, now that we've done that, if we go back to the sawmill, let's check out what's over here already. So we can see that 2 new things have spawned since the moment I started the game. But more importantly, if we look at the menu, it is just ticking away. It seems almost 1 tick per about 5 seconds of real time. So we're going to be done here pretty quickly. Cannery has ticked away, I want to say 4,000 liters in the time that I started the game and did the intro and we got to here. If we visit the cannery, have a peeky over here. I like how we always jump over the person's car. This was also all taken away, and there's 4 pallets of canned carrots, or jarred carrots, I guess, not canned, right? So I'm gonna love this mod because it's gonna take care of one of the things that was really bothering me about the game. But enough yabba, we have the money. Let's buy this field. And so we're buying this from Walter, so we're actually just giving Grandpa, you know, almost 200k. It's really hard to square how, hey, I'm too old to do stuff, but I'm gonna keep all these fields. So yeah, whatever. We'll buy the land. This is the slow acquisition that we're going for. We're gonna buy these 2 fields, and then that one. That one's a little bit less important, but these 2, we can then plow this into one big massive field that we're never gonna grow carrots on, because that would be, yeah, that would border on self-harm, and we're not gonna do that. This field right here, I would have preferred, because we would have gotten the placeable spot right up here, but it is just a smidgen too much. And we're gonna get that money next year, apparently, with all the production that we're doing as we're building stuff up. The other thing that I want to get in the future, a cow farm. We don't have enough money, obviously, but if we harvest all of these trees, which we will have to build the cow farm anyway, we will easily have that money. So let's go farming. Well, it's raining, so it's a little hard to do any farming, but now that we've bought that field, we can actually go ahead and advance time a little bit if we so choose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab our tractor and we're gonna go pick up the baler so it stops being rained on over there by the shop. And afterwards, we're gonna see what needs doing. And to be honest, what needs doing is actually a herbicide application. Ooh, look at the fog. A herbicide application on our barley fields. So nobody look at the rear view mirrors. I don't know what is happening with those. I don't know why it always looks so bad in them. So don't look at them. But we just drove through like a nice valley of fog. That was kind of cool. The volumetric fog stuff, yeah, it's hype. It's nothing to write home about, I guess, but it works. It is a little bit more atmospheric, I guess. And as you can see, our field doesn't actually have that many weeds on it, so, but we'll hose them down with the herbicide. Finally, we have a forecast for not rainy. Let's see if that's for today or tomorrow. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait until we pull over before we check the forecast. Local law enforcement have been cracking down on drivers of tractors checking their phones all the time. No, I actually have no idea. With the volume of traffic here, it probably really doesn't matter. Bam, connect that up. And I did buy it without any net in it. I just figured, you know, that's something we'll buy as we need it, when we need it. Refill bell. Yeah, no, you can't refill it because we don't have any. So we're gonna take that back to the farm. Oh, I forgot to check the weather. You know what? Let's do it while driving. Bam. At 7 p.m. And then it'll rain again tomorrow morning. Oh, bloody hellfire. Okay, well, let's hope it'll be a little bit windy overnight so that it dries the fields out a little bit, because I honestly don't want to drive out. I mean, this game doesn't simulate crop destruction in that way, but I don't really want to drive out onto a field that is soaking wet. Like, it's been raining, and if you consider that this is an abstraction, and March 1 could be like the first 9 days of March, it has been raining all of today, so we can confidently say it would have been raining for something like 7 straight days. These fields would have been waterlogged fiercely, and I would not drive on this, like, at all. I don't think, not only would we destroy everything, we'd also get stuck in there, and then we'd need another tractor to hoist us out, and then they'd destroy everything else. And so it's just, yeah. Let's put this piece of equipment undercover over here. We have these garages, and I'm not using them. I don't know why. Might as well. Especially for something that is, I mean, fairly sophisticated piece of equipment. I don't actually know, but I would assume. It's definitely more than a trailer. That's for sure. I'm gonna shut that, because we won't need it until after the harvest. And in terms of what we need to do, I mean, it is the 1st of March and I still haven't decided what to put in the ground. One option is oat. However, oat is basically the same thing as barley in terms of what we get to do with it. We just get to turn it into flour, so whoop-de-doo, yay, I guess. But everything else that is currently plantable or yeah, plant or sowable, I guess, I'm not really sure, is stuff that we don't have equipment for. So as we can see, potatoes and sugar beet, that's an entirely different subset of technology. Sugarcane, same thing. We have a tractor, and that's about the only thing that we have for that. Sunflowers, we don't even have a planter, and more importantly, our harvester doesn't support corn header or sunflower header, so we're kind of stuck on that. Peas, same thing. We could do peas and then just kind of hope that we get 7 billion liters of peas and can sell the canned peas and all of that, and it would be something new. Long grain rice isn't currently available to be sown, but I tried building it on the field, and it is kind of a hot mess, honestly, and I don't want to ruin my field by putting the flooding sort of paddy or whatever you call it. Same thing over here with grapes and olives. Where are olives? Who were just there. Completely different set of tools. Cotton. I feel I was going to do cotton and start it in February, but I feel like cotton is only really worth it if you actually have a large quantity of it. Mostly because the harvester is so expensive to rent or buy. So I'm not really sure. I think we might have to do oat and just kind of suffer through a whole bunch of grain farming, as uninspired as that might be. I'm honestly a little bit annoyed that we can't plant barley or canola in the spring. I don't know why you would only be able to do winter barley and winter canola and winter wheat, but such is our lot, so we'll just deal with it. We could also wait and do something like sorghum or soybeans, except that I have a personal aversion to soybeans because I am intolerant of soy, as in like physically. And so I never farm soybeans. I don't care if it's the most bestest thing in the world. I don't care. Torch it, set it on fire. Down with soybean lobby. We could do sorghum, and if we wait, we could do corn, but then we have the same problem with the header. So it's one of those things that where I just don't know what to do. I honestly don't know. As far as the fields go, we need to fertilize this one eventually, so we're gonna hose that down probably April with some fertilizer. And weeds we have on both of these. If it weren't raining, we would just go and do that right now, or we just call it non-realistic farming and go hose down the field with herbicide right away. It's just one of them things. Either way, I'm going to get this out of here and find somewhere else for it to live, probably in the shed with all the herbicides and lime. And whoop, Jesus. Okay, lift it. That way it's also under lock and key. There's also another thing that I wanted to buy, which is this thing, the HR4040, which is a power harrow, I believe it's called. It is over here. It's just listed as a cultivator. A cultivator prepares field for the next sowing, but this is a power harrow because it has horsepower requirement, and because I've used it recently in a tutorial video, and so I know it is a power harrow. And this would enable us to deal with our fields after harvest without having stones pop up, and so this would be a much cheaper option. It would also enable us to sell the green John Deere cultivator. This is a legit cultivator. So we would get a little bit like a rebate on selling that, I guess, or not rebate, but money returned. And so that would be nice, but currently we are all out of money, so we would have to again wait until, well, which we won't have to wait for long apparently, but sell some preserved carrots or more wood, which we can do as it comes up because we are going to be here a little bit. But yes, let's go find where I put all the herbicide. Is it going to be right here by door number 2? What is this? Pallet tank, yes. Liquid fertilizer, okay, we don't want that. What is this one? This is liquid lime, we don't want that either. Why not have any herbicide? Oh, Dookie. Alright, well, off to the store we go to buy herbicide. As you can see, the pile of carrots had shrunk considerably. And so I think we are very nearly done here with all of this carrotage. Okay, well, I don't know if I have the money to buy a thing of herbicide. Let us hope. Wrong button again. To the shop. It's gonna set us back a little bit because... oh my giddy aunt, here we go. We need to go into yield improvement, consumables, and find ourselves a herbicide, and it is 2400, which to be honest is actually cheaper than the liquid fertilizer, but yeah, that's 2400. I forgot to count. Let us buy one, and I'm only gonna buy the one because I don't think we're gonna need any more than that. And I will see you when I get back to the farm with it. Okie doke, here we are back on the farm. We're just gonna fill up straight off the back of the truck. And then we're gonna, well, yeah. I was gonna say then we're gonna wait until it stops raining, but that would make another time skip, and I'm not really sure I want to do that. Not to mention, I might lose the ability to buy the HR4040, and I really don't want to do that either. So it's kind of like, what do I do? What do I do? And as you can see, this has gone down again by 3,000 liters, and our sawmill has produced a whole bunch again. So we could actually go and, oh, I see what happened before. I was looking at these two instead of these two. We could go fairly feasibly go pick up the planks and sell them back at the playground, and then we would have the money we need for that thing, for that what's the word? Why do I always forget my words? For the really, honestly, power harrow. There we go. Maybe if it were an easier word to use, I don't know. I should also probably put a weight on the front of this so that we're not bobbing up and down, although it evidently isn't that big of a deal. No, it is a little bit of a deal. It lifted ever so slightly. And I forgot care wheels. Oh, I forgot all the things. So if I go over here and put on care wheels, it's gonna disconnect everything that we just painstakingly connected. But that's just is what it is. So wheel setup, we are in Continental. And we want our narrow tires. Nope, hold up. No license plate. I'm sick of that. I wish it would remember the state. Customize. Bam. And as you can see, it disconnected all the stuff, predictably. But it is easy as just hitting a button to connect it back up. Oh, we gotta start our engine first, evidently and obviously. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to have that ready right over here to go and put some herbicide on the field. And I wanted to do it early on so that we can kill any kind of would-be weeds growth. But now I really don't like the idea of driving on the fields with the rain going on. So what I might do, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in the truck. Well, I'm gonna take that off the truck. I'm gonna drive up to the sawmill, pick up all the things, deliver them to the playground, or playground maker, whatever, buy the power harrow, skip to March 2, and then we'll assume it has dried enough for us to go apply the herbicide. That sounds to me like a sort of a best of both worlds compromise. So I will be back when it's March 2 in the morning, or actually verifying that that's what's up. March 1, oh man, March 2 is going to be just as rainy, but it shouldn't be until in the afternoon. So March 2 in the morning, we're going to do all of that work. Alrighty, so I will see you in just a minute. Well, I will see you in just a second, but for me it'll be like half an hour. We'll see. Alrighty, we are back. Walter is out. It is morning. It is March 2 of year 3, and it's all good to go. We're gonna assume that the fields have dried out. Again, as I have said, it is a bit of an abstraction, so you know, we'll just make do. It'll start raining again fairly shortly here, but until then we are gonna be okay. I just wanted to quickly check if our large greenhouse is producing at the same speed as it were before, or if it's gone haywire. So I'm actually gonna pop over here real quick. And no, we only have the one box of tomatoes, so we're all set on that. And we don't have anything in the used vehicle sale, thank goodness, because we don't have any money to buy anything with anyway. But sawmill is almost done. It'll be done in a couple hours, and carrots have cranked away at it with 30,000 liters gone. So this new mod is just excellent. I mean, it is great. I am excited, and I'm hoping that it's not going to like break the game in any way in terms of like coding errors and stuff. As I said, authors first, and whoever they are, they have my thanks. It's also going to make it so that getting something like a semi-truck is a little bit more sensible, because if we were looking at it from without the mod perspective, there really isn't any sense in doing that, since it takes the production facilities so long to produce anything in any meaningful quantity. Really, you just need a pickup, and that's really it. Whereas now we're going to, I would love it if the tree would just get out of the way to make me cut you. Whereas now we're actually going to have the goods in enough bulk to justify a semi-truck. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Anyway, let's fire up the steering assist and get a move on. This little bit over here is frustrating every time, but it's okay if we miss a tiny amount of weeds. No big deal. So here we go, steering assist is ready. And let it rip, start spraying it down. The upside to the herbicide is that it actually uses fairly small amount of it, and we won't burn through all of that money that we spent on it as easily as we do with liquid fertilizer. So there is that. And I am currently undecided on whether or not to do a time lapse. Currently the recording is 38 minutes. You know what, we'll see. We'll see. I'll continue saying stuff, and then if it turns out that I can do a time lapse, I will start the time lapse right here, and we'll take it from there. Alright, well this is where the time lapse is gonna end, just so we get a little bit more hands-on spray work. Not that it's all that to write home about. As I said, I did a lot of talking while spraying, and then realized that the video was starting to reach a long time, so I decided to just do a time lapse. Why not? We are currently heavily overspraying the field with the herbicide. Turn it off fast. And then we're just gonna hit that little chunk at the top. And for that, I think I'm gonna shrink the spray area by 2. And that should take care of that. Whoa, 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 whoa. This way. Okay. They're gonna be like that. I guess I'll do it manually then. I don't really know where they are. I can kind of barely see the weeds right over. Yeah, I think we've got perfect coverage for what was left. Turn that off. 1, 2, 3. That should be at max. Yep. And that should be the whole field. There's a little bit of a thing right there. Whatever. We won't sweat it. And just like that, we're done. So, recap. It's March 2. We have just finished applying herbicide to our barley fields. I don't know actually if we should have done that. But these are already germinated in well-established crops, so it probably is fine. We're gonna put fertilizer on this field right here that we just finished spraying in a future episode. That field over there should be fully fertilized. Pile of carrots is shrinking. We should be done with it. I'm gonna pop that all off of camera. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna empty the sprayer just like that with a press of a button, and then we're gonna drop the sprayer off inside here, and we're gonna take plow on with us. I don't understand what's up with the stutter. I wonder if it's got to do with the speed of the production facilities. If that's what's causing all of this stuttering, because the game is just crunching the numbers. In which case, what horrendous coding to do something so simple as convert a bunch of numbers into other numbers. Yeah, unless it's the spawning of the pallets that's doing it. Maybe it is. We'll see. There's always some kind of like back and forth with the game, right? So either we could wait an entire year for a little bit of carrots to be produced, or the game's gonna stutter when the pallets are being spawned. You know, I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and take this to the store with us to sell it to the, well, I guess not the dealership. We're gonna, yeah, it's a used vehicle sale. I don't know. We could have just, honestly, pawned it off directly from our farm, and that would be a little bit more sensible, I guess. But maybe they're having an auction. Maybe we'll roleplay it like that. They're having an auction. We're taking it there. I'm gonna pop the beacons on just because I like them. I don't know if that's mandatory in the US when you're towing farming equipment on the road. It is sticking out on both sides quite significantly, so maybe, yeah, it's a wide load. Agricultural convoy type thing. And, ooh, look here. Glamour shot. It would be a lot nicer if the game wasn't so gloomy. I did look into shaders, considered downloading some, but I haven't really ever done that, and I'm not really sure what to expect of it. So I'm gonna fiddle around with that in the background and see what it does in terms of performance and in terms of actually making the game look a little bit better, because that's not necessarily always the case, where, you know, it might not. And there is a lot of awful stutter, so yeah, I don't know. Pop this over here. I think this is where we sell it, right? Sell it for 1,800. Well, whoop-de-doo. It would have cost us more to repaint it than what it was worth. And I'm not really sure why you would repaint a cultivator, something you drag in the dirt anyway, other than to prevent like corrosion, but you can just spray paint that at home. So here is our new to us. The working width is exactly the same as our previous cultivator, so we don't really need to even worry about that in terms of like slowing down our work. and it is actually gonna get rid of all the stones for us, because we won't be digging them up, other than when we actually plow, which should make everything go faster. And so yeah, we're gonna leave this episode here, as I'm driving back to the farm with our new to us power harrow. There we go, didn't forget my word this time. And I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. If you do a thing like subscribing, then subscribe. And if not, that's fine too. I'm glad that you watched this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.